A bad Charlie
I've been
take?
back and forth for a little while now on whether or not to make a video about this topic because it's not exactly goofy, but the more I read about it, the wackier it becomes, and the more unbelievable to speed on the.
Wait, oh, he thinks the swap was bad?
It's not exactly goofy, but the more I read about it, the wackier it becomes, and the more unbelievable the story is. I'm sure you've seen all the headlines by now that Brittany Griner is being exchanged for a Russian criminal known as the Merchant of Death. Now, I'll go ahead and bring you up to speed on the lore if you don't know exactly what this is referring to. Brittany Griner was one of the best WNBA players in the league, and she was detained in Russia on drug charges about 10 months ago. The drug charges were super minor. It was like 2 tiddlywinks of weed. They basically threw her in the slammer for thinking about marijuana. The actual story was they came after her for smuggling because they found vaporizer cartridges on her person which contained less than a gram of hash oil. So
You had a worse take? Bro, these dudes need to listen to my takes on some of this stuff. I swear to God.
super trivial amount, really. You'd find more devil's lettuce in a church bathroom. She wasn't exactly some drug kingpin who was trying to escape the country.
But I mean, so far he's better than like 90% of fucking weirdos.
Duffel bag full of jazz cabbage. It was very small stuff. She was detained and thrown into a labor camp for the last 10 months. And since then, the US has been working to try and set up a trade with Russia to get her back. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tackle this complicated issue real quick, just right away, because I've seen so many people mention this, that this same thing would happen in America for the same level of, possession. People in America get thrown in jail for years for very minor drug charges. And you're right. That's horrible, too. It's horrible when it happens in America. It's horrible that it happened to Brittany Griner in Russia. They can both be terrible together. I think we can all agree on that. That's not some big gotcha moment. Now, getting back on topic, today the U.S. has finalized the trade agreeing to swap Victor Bout, the Merchant of Death, for Brittany Griner. And a lot of people have been scratching their heads saying that this seems like an unfair trade, a pretty lopsided deal, because the Merchant of Death isn't exactly some lightweight. And that title alone is scary. That's like releasing Cobra Commander, like freeing him from the G.I. Joe prison. This isn't just some nobody. This is a very, very well-known arms dealer. In fact, they have a whole goddamn movie about this guy called...
The funny part about it is that, like, how little people understand how this stuff works. XG was very strong on the do the crime, do the time. Yeah, the time being, okay, the most effective counter to that is the time is 15 days in jail. So... why is it that, like, even if we were to look at the legality of the situation from a pure, like, legal standpoint, which is no substitute for morality, it's immoral when it happens in America, it's immoral when it happens in Russia, obviously. But even if you were to look at it from, like, the legality standpoint, you have to recognize, unless you are, you've been duped into believing your position from, Reddit takes or whatever, that, like, she should have been in jail maximum for 15 fucking days. Or in most cases, you just pay a fucking fine and you don't even serve a single day in prison. So why did that happen? Well, because it was political. And everybody pretty much understands that it was a political kidnapping, pretty much. He was a political prisoner. I don't think that, like, XQC is in the same vein as, like, some of these other fucking freakazoids. I think he probably just saw the same takes that many of you did when you came in here to repeat them and just repeated it, you know what I mean, without, like, really recognizing the background of it. XQ literally said the morality does not equal legality argument before. Weird for him to take that take. I mean, you just send me whatever he said and we can look at it. You give XQ too much credit, to be honest. First of all, I know him in person. I know him in real life. And oftentimes he does have pretty solidly progressive takes on issues like this. So, yes, the charitability in that circumstance is literally because the overwhelming majority of mainstream thought on the issue, including motherfuckers in this chat, okay, who have come in here multiple times to, like, debate these talking points over and over again, is that, do the crime, do the time. That's just how Americans are usually. That's how Westerners are in general. They're very draconian. Especially Americans. I didn't realize how minor Bout's role in trafficking was until you, Felix, and the Aussies broke down the 60 Minutes piece fawning over the feds. Yeah. No, Victor Bout is, if you want to know who the big traffickers are, it's America. It's the American State Department. They're so big that they were working with Victor Bout. But I don't even expect many people to know that. I expect people at least to recognize that, like, Brittany Griner was a political prisoner, and it was adequate to make a swap to get her out when she did not deserve to be in prison in the first place.
Lord of War, starring Nicolas Cage. This isn't some small fry, not some faceless old pop Wiggleberry that was convicted for kegeling heroin. Like, this is a big deal. Now, of course, I do agree that this was a wrongful conviction. Brittany Griner's punishment didn't fit her crime. This was pretty outrageous. Like, yes, I understand, like, a law was broken, but this kind of enforcement of it is absurd. And I think getting her out is great, but I do agree with a lot of people that are wondering, could we have got more for this trade? Like, right now, there are still two other...
Like, this is Charlie's take on this is most likely going to be informed by what he has seen. And I don't fault him for this. There's a consensus on a lot of this stuff, right? Americans have a consensus on, like, oh, that's a Marine. A Marine is in jail. Like, they don't look at it as like, well, this is a guy who was definitely doing espionage. You know what I mean? They don't think about that. They're like, oh, well, that's a Marine. He's good automatically, right? They don't know that he was, like, dishonorably discharged. Not that it even fucking matters in the situation. Like, even if Brittany Griner, let's say, was a former Marine and was dishonorably discharged, she still didn't deserve to go to prison, right? Like, over fucking weed cartridge. Whereas Paul Whelan, way more understandable that he would go to prison. If you fucking get caught doing espionage, you're gonna go to prison. Like, it's the most normal thing that will ever happen. And I have this exact same energy for the people who are doing it against America too. Like, don't get caught, motherfucker. That's the point. I like my spies to not be caught on all sides. Okay? Charlie probably has no idea on that, and his chat definitely doesn't. Yeah, I'm not even, like, faulting him for that, though, because he probably sees, like, oh, well, this Marine was arrested, and that's it. Yet the hate for returning an arms dealer isn't negated if a Marine is exchanged. Griner and Whelan are the same. No, they're not the same. Griner didn't deserve to be in prison. Paul Whelan did, like, straight up. There is a consensus among everyone, including Paul Whelan's family, okay, that, like, if you're doing spy shit in another country, and it doesn't matter if it's a Chinese spy in America, doesn't matter if it's a Russian spy in America, like Marina Butina, I had this exact same energy for her as well. If you're doing spy shit, okay, in a foreign nation, yes, you are going, if you get caught, you're going to go to jail. Like, it is like Spy 101, like spy kids would understand this most basic concept. One person literally was invited into the country, okay, and didn't do anything all that insane. It was, like, completely within the bounds of reason and was unjustifiably arrested for it. The other person was a spy. Anyway, that's, like, kind of the risk when you're signing up for the job. So that's how it works. Anyway,
U.S. citizens that are imprisoned in Russia, and we just gave up, like, our biggest Yu-Gi-Oh card here to barter with. Could we have maybe grouped them all together? Be like, we'll give you the Merchant of Death. We'll give you the super duper ultra rare prisoner if you give us all three of your prisoners of ours. Like, I feel like that would have been a much more fair deal.
The biggest L taker in the situation is Mark Fogel, right? Like, I mean, he was also, like, teaching diplomats children and shit like that, so there's a little bit of sussiness there, but, like, ultimately, it seems like he just got clapped in this, and no one is trading him, you know what I mean? What's going on? Like, what's happening there? Like, what? No one even talked about him. Now people are bringing up Mark Fogel because, like, you know, people are bringing up Mark Fogel now because, like, they're just, like, looking for someone else to be like, whoa, this could have been traded in too.
Like right now, there's a Marine sitting in there that's been there since 2018. Like, I definitely feel like maybe we could have played this a little bit better. Now, of course, I'm not looking at the deeper political.
Also, they have been trying. Charlie probably doesn't know this either. Not only have they been trying, but the Trump administration also started talks. Like, it's super normal when one of your spies gets caught that your government tries to, retrieve said spy, depending on like what level of importance that spy has, obviously, or what level of crime that they've been engaging in. Like, yeah. The Biden administration brought that up as well, obviously, and the Russians were like, no.
Motivations and angles to a negotiation like this. I'm not here to dissect the inner machinations of this kind of swap. I'm looking at this as a pure layman reptile brain. And to me, while I'm happy that she's been able to return to the US, I would have liked to have seen that for the other two victims there. I would really like if we made the same level of effort to bring them home as well. And I feel like this could have been a great opportunity for it.
You know what I would have wanted the effort to go to? Bringing football home for England, okay? Why is nobody talking about that? Why? It's coming home, lad. It's coming fucking home, lads. It would have been coming home, and it's not coming home.
Since they were...
Harry Kane!
Goddamn merchant of death. Like, just imagine the perspective of the Marine that's currently there for the last 4 years. You know, he hears Brittany Griner got released in a prisoner swap. He's like, oh, who did they trade? The fucking merchant of death. And then, like, well, who are they? Are they trying to get me out? Oh, yeah.
I think that the media hyping Bout as the guy who single-handedly runs all gun trafficking everywhere also plays a role here. Yeah, he was. He was running gun trafficking for America. You don't get to be the biggest gun runner on the planet, or one of the biggest gun runners on the planet, without working with the biggest gun runner on the planet, which is the United States of America. And that's it.
Yeah, they are. Well, who are they willing to trade? Oh, just some like Russian dude who stole a pack of cigarettes from a gas station. For some reason, the Russian government's not taking that trade though, but they're doing their best. Like, I think this was a good opportunity to swing for the fences, get the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, I love Charlie's takes on stuff like this because it's great to see like what Normans think about shit like this. Someone in the chat also brought this up. It's very interesting to see a relative normie like Charlie absolutely eating up the merchant of death manufacturer consent narrative, regardless of accuracy. Yeah. He just like, this is what happens. But it's totally normal. It is so normal to just like, to have takes like this. I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than like, this is how profoundly powerful American media is in changing people's minds. Like, you're watching it, you're seeing it.
Grab the other two prisoners as well in this swap. That seems like a much like more even deal, if you ask me. You get all of the U.S. Citizens that are held captive in Russia right now out all at once in one fell swoop. Of course, I'm just a pea-brain fucking idiot, so perhaps that pipe dream was never an actual possibility, but, you know, to me it sounds like it could have been feasible. Like, get Saul Goodman on the line and work the deal. Like, it just seems like the merchant of death had a lot of weight for bargaining. That's just how it appears to me. Now, if you thought that's where this story ends, you're a damn fool, because there was a massive plot twist nobody saw coming. Vin Diesel may have played a role in this. He may have been the one that actually
Comrade
saved
Luffy!
the day.
Oh my God, that's so sick. That puts a fucking smile on my face thinking about Monkey D. Luffy as a socialist. Anyway, thank you for the 5 get the subs, Comrade Luffy.
Here, a lot of people are praising him for an Instagram post he allegedly made last month, where he had a picture of himself at a Lakers game giving a thumbs up with the caption,
I gotta pee, I'll be back.
Need Brittany Griner home before Christmas. Now, when I first read about all of this, I assumed this was a fake screenshot. I mean, it doesn't even have a verified check mark on his name. It just seems like a meme that was made to troll and get a little goofy on Twitter. But Rolling Stone and Yahoo both seem to think that this was a real post Vin Diesel made and then deleted shortly thereafter. So who really fucking knows, honestly? I just love to toy around with that fan fiction that Vin Diesel somehow scared the Russian government into accepting a trade to get Brittany Griner home after he made his Instagram post. Like they're all just panicking at the headquarters, going from phone to phone. No, I saw it. I saw it. No, I saw it. Yep, I know. Jesus Christ, I understand. It's all gonna burn down. Vin Diesel's gonna come over here with his goddamn Dodge Charger, and he's gonna kick our ass. He's gonna beat our fucking ass. It's just such an entertaining idea that they never had any intention of ever trading Brittany Griner until Vin Diesel made his post, and they're like, oh my god, we're on a tight time crunch now. Now we're on the clock. This is a cutthroat schedule. Vin Diesel wants her home by Christmas. Okay, get the Americans on the line. We'll orchestrate a trade ASAP. We cannot allow Mr. Diesel to get involved in this. like that is just so like amazing to think about. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this situation a little bit because it's a pretty wild one, and really that's about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie's take is like the Norman take, which is, I love watching stuff like that. I love hearing from XQC. I love hearing from Charlie and everyone else who otherwise do like YouTube commentary and culture commentary. When they talk about like political things such as this, I love hearing the normie take because like oftentimes it is instructive. Like, I'm not going to get that in my chat. I mean, I do sometimes get it in my chat and I fucking freak out on you guys because I expect you to know more and do better. But, you know, a lot of you had that exact same take that Charlie had until I fucking screamed at another one in the chat who was like brave enough to come in and say some snarky shit in an identical capacity. Okay.